This is a tabletop audio tool I made called Tat for playing and mixing music and soundscapes while running tabletop RPGs. Here's how it works. First, load images and audio with the Add Media button. Here I'm just bringing in some maps from Warped Beyond Recognition. Warped is my mothership module, in which players are sent on a dubious mission to a clandestine science ship, which is what these maps are, where a bunch of corporate researchers were conducting ethically dubious experiments on teenagers. Well, not even dubious really, just awful. So I'm just laying out the maps here. You just drag images around and double-click to lock them in place. Clicking an image also raises it above the other images, so you can click them in sequence to determine an order, and then lock them in place with the list on the left. The list also makes it easy to duplicate them, like so. Grab the corners to resize and hold Shift to keep it proportional. And you can just delete them with Delete or Backspace, or with the X button on their list entry. Next up, loading sounds. These are ambience tracks created for the module by the very talented Galen Drew. This pin is the listener that represents where the player characters are. So as they approach sounds like this one, everyone will start hearing what it's playing. Just like with images, you can select sounds on the list and drag them around. I'm just getting the ambience tracks lined up with the floors of the ship here. There's one per floor, plus an intro and outro to the album, which don't really represent specific locations. But I'll put the intro by the airlock entrance. You might want to play it at the start of a session. Grab the handle on the edge of a sound to resize it. Sounds are imported as local sounds by default, which emanate audio from a point that falls off radially, which is great for more localized sounds. But these tracks are meant to be played the whole time you're on a particular floor or deck of the ship. So let's convert them into area sounds. Click here to turn a local sound into an area sound. Area sounds play their audio at a constant volume while the listener is inside. Great for large areas. And if you want to go even bigger, click the button again to turn it into a global sound. This will play everywhere, regardless of where the listener is. The mute and solo buttons on the list are good ways to manage global sounds. Click again to go back to local, and once more for area, which is what we want here. For area sounds, you just drag the corners to define the area. So we can block that in here, and convert the other floors and block them in too. You can also get a lot more precise with the area sounds. Drag the edge handles to create a new corner that you can now drag around. Now we can more closely match the shape of each floor. You can get as detailed as you want. I'll speed this bit up. No need to watch me be anal retentive in real time. Then, when you're done, double-click the sound to lock it in place, just like the images. So, this intro track by the airlock has a cool beginning that'd be fun to play at the start of a session. You can seek on the track just by clicking on the progress bar like this.
Approaching 10,000 research vessel, RSV Fidanza, docking in T-minus 30 seconds.
There's also a pause button on each track. And of course, multiple tracks can overlap. Here, dragging the listener, I'd be following the position of the player's party as they explore the ship. I can also use W, A, S, and D to move the listener. The speed is adjustable in the settings. having a listen to the outro here, reminding myself what it sounds like. We'll lock that in place too, in case it ends up being useful. Now for the rest of the tracks, which are more musical. There are 6, one for each of the teenage test subjects on the ship. They each have a theme that reflects them in some way. This is the theme for Subject 1, Evander, who manipulates machinery and androids. Now we can hear the tracks are fighting a bit. I can scroll the mouse wheel over each sound in the list to adjust its volume and get a better mix. The next subject on this floor, Billy, is over here. He's all about mental domination and has multiple Marines under his thrall. Okay, up to the upper deck. We've got Sonia on the bridge, who's cybernetically merging with the ship. And now down below. Let's pull the ambience down a bit on this floor. Jonesy, who manifests thoughts, his and others, is over here. And over here is Miriam, probably the most immediately terrifying of the kids. Her theme is probably the most intense. She crawls around the beds in a swarm of limbs ripped off of the former crew members. And there's one more, Yu Yin, who's featured on the cover of the module, who's become strangely intertwined with space and time. Now, Miriam moves around a lot, so I'll leave her sound editable. You can actually drag a sound while using WASD to move a sound while you're moving the listener. This is sounding pretty good to me, so I'll save the project. This copies all of the files in use to a project folder with a JSON file that defines where everything goes. I have it set up that way so projects are easy to manage, and you can easily zip a project folder to send it to a friend. Okay, here's a new project. Let's load in a photo from my Dungeon 23 Mega Dungeon, the Blades of Gixa, which I'll be kickstarting soon. And I'll bring in some of the more pleasant audio from Warped. Tat will come with the project I just made and the images and sounds in there as an example project. And I hope to make more sound and map packs in the future if there's interest. Here's the banner for my upcoming Kickstarter, which will feature the pages you see here, plus many, many more. Oh, also, if you scroll the mouse wheel on an image in the list, you change the opacity, kind of like changing the volume of a sound. Okay, so that's how you use Tat in its current state. If you'd like to get notified when the Blades of Gixa Kickstarter goes live, click the link in the description and follow this channel for updates on the dungeon, on Tat development, and a whole lot of other stuff coming this way. Thanks for watching, and thanks for your support. Bye.